Hey everybody, I'm DBSTCG Central. Welcome to another deck profile video. If you guys saw the thumbnail, you saw today that we're doing Son Goku, Pan, and Trunks Space Adventurers. Really strong, brand new set 17 leader. This leader's got a lot going on for it. It topped a few events. I seen a build that I thought was really cool and really competitive, and I decided to make my own version, and I'm going to start taking this thing to locals. I got a lot of requests for this deck, so I hope you guys enjoy this version. I thought it was the coolest one I've seen so far. It uses a lot of older support too, so I think it's really cool. All right, so what this guy does here on his unawakened side, he's got an auto. When this card is placed in your leader area, you play up to one spaceship Vessel of Hope from your deck with a marker on it. So as soon as he goes into the leader area, then you go get your Unison and you can play it for free right in the battlefield. And then it's got an auto here. Choose up to one spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area and place one red Saiyan card from your hand under it. When this card attacks, you can draw two cards. So it's almost like a discard, draw two leader. So you got a lot of filtering, but also you get to use the Saiyans that go underneath your Unison card. So it's really cool. Awakening is when your life is at 4 or less, or you have a Unison card with 7 or more markers on it. You may draw two cards and then add cards up to from your life to your hand until you have 6 left, and you can flip this card over. And then when he awakens, he's Son Goku, Pan, and Trunks Space Adventurer. They actually have all these tags. When this card attacks, you draw one card. Active main, once per turn, if you pay 1 red energy, if you don't have a Unison card in play, play up to one Spaceship Vessel of Hope from your hand or drop area with 1 marker on it. So this is really good if they get rid of your Unison somehow, which is really hard because it gets a lot of markers. If you ever lose it, then you can just bring it right back from your drop area to keep this deck and all the stuff that we put in it going and keep the whole thing just afloat, you know? So it's got another active main here, once per turn. It's got Spirit Boost 10. If you have 5, is that 5? If you have 5 or more energy, play up to one red Son Goku GT card with energy cost 8 from your hand, and it gains plus 5,000 power for the turn. So for free, you can play an 8-drop Beefcake. I'll show you him after a little bit later in the deck from your hand for free by just using Spirit Boost 10, which is really cool. So I'll show you what this deck does and exactly what we play. For starters, we play 2 Spaceship Vessel of Hope. I run 2 because if in the event they ever do get rid of this, having this in your hand is really good to play again. Also, it's got ability here, Empower 10, that I can use to bring it back out. But I'll tell you what this guy does here. He's got a permanent where this card can't attack. It's got an auto limit 1. When this card has 4 or more markers on it, when this card is played, you may draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your red battle cards and up to 1 of your red leader cards, and they both get 5,000 power for the turn. This actually comes in handy. I'll show you exactly why we run. It's another reason why I run 2 of the copies, but if this ability actually is valid in this deck, and I'll show you why. So it's got a +0 active main. Place 1 Saiyan card from your hand under this card. Draw 1 card, then add up to a marker. Add up to a marker to this card for each card under this card. It's so crazy. So its +0 is you place 1 Saiyan underneath this, and then you draw a card, and then you add markers to this card for each Saiyan you have underneath of it. So really crazy Unison. It's literally for this deck mostly. You could possibly run it in other decks, but I think that this is just insane what this deck does with that Unison. Okay, for starters, we want to get as many markers as we can under that onto that Unison, and as many Saiyans as we can underneath it, so we get more markers. So the first one we run here is Setting Forth to Space. This one really helps the deck with consistency and does what we need it to do. Some of the other cards in the set that came out with this, they put themselves underneath it, but we want to put other Saiyans underneath our Unison to do some shenanigans. So for starters, active main, choose 1 Spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area, draw 1 card, add 1 marker to the chosen card, Then place one red Saiyan from your deck underneath the chosen card, and then shuffle your deck. So this is really good because you play this for one energy, you draw a card, you put a marker on the Unison, and then you can pick any Saiyan from your deck, whatever you're going to need to put under there, put it under there, and then you +0 your Unison, and it gets another counter for each Saiyan underneath the spaceship. So it's crazy. This begins our shenanigans. So we run 3 of these. They really help with consistency, and they help get what we need into our deck. I mean, underneath our Unison also. So the first Saiyans that we run is this new card here that came out with this deck in the set, Pan Adventurer's Advent. So it's got barrier, so it's pesky. It's hard to get rid of. Active main, limit 1, which means once per turn. Choose one spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area and place one Saiyan card from your hand under it. And then you draw a card, and then you add a marker to the chosen card. So you replace yourself. This card replaces itself by drawing a card. And then you get rid of a Saiyan in your hand that you might need underneath your Vessel of Hope. Stick it under there, and then you'll have another Saiyan, and it gets a marker. So really, really good for the deck. And this is a once per turn, and it's got barrier. So if they don't remove it or try to, you're just going to be doing this every turn, once per turn. So it's really, really good. So some of the meat and bread and butter of this deck is this card here. I run 3 of them. Pan Soaring Through Space. If you guys don't know what this card does, it is great for this deck. It's just insane. So what it does is it's a blocker, first of all. It's got an active main, limit 1, spirit boost 1. If you have 2 or more energy, play this card from under a Unison. So if you just spirit boost 1, which means remove 1 marker from your Unison, which you'll have tons of markers under your Unison on your Unison. When you remove a marker, you can play this for free. And then it comes out. It's got blockers, so it's a free blocker. But also, it's got an active main, limit 1, for 2 red energy. If your leader is a Son Goku GT, you can play up to 1 Son Goku GT card and up to 1 Trunks GT card that are both red with 15k power or less from under the spaceship Vessel of Hope from your Unison area. So if you have any Goku GTs or any Trunks GTs underneath your starship, you could play them for 2 energy, both at the same time. So you have 2 15k attackers, but also we run some shenanigans that are coming up soon. 3 is a perfect number that I run, especially because we can use this card to get it under, and I'm still waiting for one in the mail, so I have this one blank just taking its slot right now. Sorry about that, everybody. It was supposed to come before this weekend, but there was a hold up, and I wasn't able to get it, unfortunately. So 3 of those, and like I said, with these cards here, it acts as 6 copies because you pay 1 energy and just put this right under your spaceship. It's really, really good. All right, so some other sayings that we play. Like I said, it gets you could play a Trunks GT or a Goku GT from underneath the Unison. So it's really good to have Trunks and future Trunks and Trunks GT and Son Goku GTs. And this is the first one we run here is Super Saiyan Trunks Soaring Through Space. So it's got barrier, so it's got protection. You can evolve it onto a 1-drop Trunks GT and draw a card, but we don't play it that way. We just put it underneath the Unison from all the ways we have to, from the leader ability, from the Unison ability, from this pan or this card here. It's got a permanent. When this card is in rest mode, your opponent cannot attack your Unison cards. So when this guy's out, they're going to have to get rid of this guy before they can attack your Unison. It's got an auto. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn, which is really good too. And also, if this is underneath your Unison, if you need a battle card to play, you could, once per turn, pay 1 red energy. If your opponent has 1 or more energy, you can play this card from your hand, from your Unison area, from underneath your Unison. So for 1 energy, it's a 15k attacker, and it can neg something 10k. So it's really, really good. Plus, like I said, we could play it for free with this ability, so we just need some targets for that. Okay, so that 8-drop I was talking about, that your leader card can play for Spirit Boost 10 is this one here. It's an 8-drop. Sun Goku and Pan and SS Trunk Galactic Explorers. So this card is really good for this deck. It acts as the board wipe for this deck. I'll show you what it does. I actually am only running 2 in this. It's not because I don't have it. This is also coming in the mail, but I'm only running 2 of these because I only use this card mostly for like a board wipe and then sometimes to go for game. But you don't need more than 2. And this thing also got tangled up in the mail. I apologize. Deflect. So it's always coming out. Active main for 3 red energy. If you have 4 or more energy, play this card from under a Unison card. So really good ability here because no matter what, it's coming out for 3 if it's under one of your Unisons, which it will be because we'll put it there. Active main, once per turn, Spirit Boost through. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 30,000 power for the turn, and then this card gets triple attack for the turn. So you board wipe everybody, minus 30k, and then it becomes a triple attack, 30k. Active main, limit 1, choose 1 red Unison card with 10,000 power or more, and place it under this card from your hand or battle area and add a marker to the chosen card. So that's a real cool ability too. But I only use this thing for the board wipe and in case I need to go for game with a triple strike. We have other game enders in this deck because we run a little bit of a weird build using some old stuff. But as a board wipe and for the ability it has with this deck and the synergy, it is so strong. It's really, really good in this deck. And being able to play for 3 if you need to, if you Spirit Boost 10, is really good also. So like I said, we have other game enders, and I'll show you how we get to these ones. So like I said, this deck puts Saiyan cards from your hand or from your deck underneath the Unison. So we're going to abuse that ability, and we're also going to abuse that it is a GT deck, and we're going to play this deck here. Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku. So if you don't know what this card does, it's an older card. It's got critical, but it's also got a permanent here. When your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy cost of this card in your battle area by 2. So it becomes a 5-drop. Son Goku GT. Now, like I said, with this pan here, you could pay 2 energy if this is underneath your Unison. You could play this and the Trunks for free. Well, by paying 2 energy, you can play them both out. There's other ways to play this guy I'll show you in a little bit. But when this guy comes out, he's an evolved target for what I'm about to show you next. But also, he's a 15k attacker, so he's really cool. But him being able to buff himself up to 5 is really relevant and comes up for the boss monster that we have in this deck here. So another Saiyan that you can stuff under there, and you'll have no problem doing it because you're never really going to cast him for 3. So once he is out, and like I said, I'll show you other ways we get him out. We sneak him out. We play 2 of these guys here. So Victorious Strike Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. So this is another Goku GT. It's got an X Evolve here. It's where you could place 1 card from your hand into your drop area, and then you can evolve this onto a red Son Goku GT with energy cost 5 or more. So that would be this target because once this is played and it's in your battle area and your life is at 4 or less, I believe, yeah, then he becomes a 5-drop. And when he's a 5-drop, this becomes active, and you can evolve this onto him. And X Evolve, I'm not sure if you guys know, but if you X Evolve onto a card, it keeps all the power that it had previously. So if it has like a plus 5k or something like that, it'll actually keep that if you X Evolve. So here is his abilities here. So he's got an X Evolve where you can evolve onto a Goku GT 5 or higher energy. He's got double strike. He's a 25k. And then once per turn, when this card attacks, switch this card to active mode, and it gets another 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you swing with a 25k double strike, and then it restands, and then it's a 30k, and you could swing again with it if you'd like, or which is good because then it's a 30k double strike. So you could end the game with that. Or you could drop triple flash on top of it for 1 energy. So it's got an X evolve. So like I said, with X evolve, the power will that stacked on this, the plus 5k, will stay on this card on when you evolve onto it, and it'll move to this card here. So this will become a 35k when you X evolve it onto this card here, which just helps for what I'm about to show you. It's got deflect, so it's always coming in. Like I said, it's got an X evolve for 1 energy onto a Son Goku GT with energy cost of 5 or more. So if you didn't have this in your hand, you didn't see him or whatever, you could evolve this guy right on top of this guy also. So no big deal. This is just going to help us get it another 5k up higher and another attack in, so it's really good. So this guy's got deflect and he's got triple strike. So auto, when this card, when you play this card, you draw 2 cards, so super strong right off the bat. And then you may not activate X Evolve for the duration of the turn. So you can't do another X Evolve. You can't do this guy twice. You draw 2 cards for 1 energy, and you play this guy with triple strike 30k. And here it's got a permanent that says, if this card's power is 40,000 or more, and your leader card is a red Saiyan, which it is, your opponent may not activate counter skills or just counters during battles where this card is attacking. So you cannot negate this attack when you attack with this 30k triple strike if you bring him to 40k. And like I said, this guy, when you start off, you play him, he'll bring him to 5k when you X evolve, so he'll be at 35. You only need to buff him up another 5k, and I'll show you how we do that. And one way we do that is another Saiyan, and it's an older card, and it's actually like a dash pack promo, if you guys remember those. I don't think they do them anymore. Combination attack pan. So this card here, if a Son Goku GT or Trunks GT with power 25,000 or more power is in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. So it's a free 10k. And then once per turn, you can choose up to 1 Son Goku or Trunks GTs. Both of them have to be GT in your battle area, and it gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you'll evolve this guy onto this guy. He'll get the 5k. He'll be at 35. And then if you happen to have her in your hand, you can play her. And then when you play her, you can use the active main to make it a 40k attacker. And then when you attack, they cannot negate this attack here. So it's a little combo. It's an older combo from the original GT deck. It was a lot harder to get to pull off. But this combo with this new leader and the way everything works, it actually makes it a lot easier to do. And there's also other ways other than the pan that we can buff this guy up some more just to have some more consistency. But a triple strike 30k that you can't negate is nothing to gawk at. It's a good boss monster. All right, so now super combos we run. We run Bulma out adventuring. I know it's a weird choice, but there's a reason for it. Super combo, 0 10k. If your leader is red and your opponent has a total of 8 or less life, you and your opponent have a total of 8 or less life. So between you and your opponent, you have to have 8 or less life. So that's if you're at 4 and they're at 4 or something in that kind of combination. If you're at 5 and they're at 3. When this card is used in a combo, you can draw 1 card. Then if it's your turn, choose up to 1 red Earthling card with energy cost of 1 in your hand, and you can play it. So first of all, this pan here, if you have this pan in your hand or you have another copy of this, when you combo with this and your life is 8 or less, you can play this for free. So that's just more advantage. You're putting more stuff under your spaceship. You're drawing a card. Plus this draws you a card. So you'll be drawing 2 cards, playing this, putting a card underneath your vessel from your deck that you might need to finish this combo here, to play these for free or get the pan in there and stuff. And plus, it's got another ability here, which helps out with the triple flash. Active main, once per turn, choose 1 mono red battle card or Unison card, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. So say you didn't evolve onto this guy and you still need another 5k to get to 40k, you can use this super combo, attack with your leader, or you play this card for 1 or whatever, and then you can use it gets played when you super combo it for free. Plus you play the pan, draw a card from the pan, play this, and then you can still give this 5k after this is on the battlefield once per turn to jack it up so that it's um, a triple attack. Triple strike that you can't counter. So it's just crazy. The stuff that this deck just ends up doing is just insane. There's just a lot of combos. All right, so a little extra safety, I'd say. Some barrier removal that we have here. If you guys don't know what this card does, is you can discard it from your hand. You can pay 2 red energy, and you can give something ignoring barrier minus 25k, or you could play this card for 3 energy, and you could you give all of your opponent's battle cards minus 20k. So if you need a smaller board wipe that, you know, say it's before you get this going, or you want to save this for the triple strike, or you need some spot removal that has something that has barrier, or you just need to board wipe real quick to get rid of some stuff. Super versatile card, and it's another Saiyan that you can stuff under your spaceship. So it's really, really good. Counter plays that we run, 2 more Saiyans. This is really good to stop floodgates and other colors. It stops the Majin Buu floodgate, a lot of other stuff too, or anything else that you might need to use it for. So it's a counter play. If the battle card being played has 1500 power or less, it's placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played, and then you can play this card, so it becomes like a 10k attacker. And then if you have 3 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So it turns into a 1-drop. This other ability doesn't really take effect. Your leader needs to be a Vegito, and our leader's not a Vegito. But it's a really, really powerful card for red, because red doesn't have too many counter plays. But it's also a Saiyan, so you can stick it under your Vessel of Hope if you need to also. Other counter plays, because we always have a Unison active, we have to take advantage of that. So this is a free play here. If you don't know what Yamcha Merciless Barrage does, it's a counter play. If your opponent plays a battle card, you can choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they get negative 1500 power. 1500 power for the turn. And then you can play this card. So it's a free 15k attacker, plus you're negging 2 battle cards, 15k. So really, really good. And floodgates, we run topos. If you don't know what topo does, it's like the premier floodgate in red. It's not a Saiyan, but it's just so strong I had to go in here. You play this card for 2 energy. On your opponent's turn, it's cost 2 energy instead of 4. And then when you play it, you discard a card, and then your opponent cannot attack for the turn unless they discard 2 cards from their hand every time they attack. So real good floodgate. Most people will not go through it and lose the cards unless they're drawing crazy amounts, but it's a real good floodgate. It's one of my favorites. So like I said, we run a Unison, so we take advantage of it. This is a Spirit Boost card. It came out in a starter deck. It's got unique and critical. If your opponent has 2 or more energy when this card is removed, if you remove a marker, oh my gosh. If you remove a marker from one of your red Unison cards using Spirit Boost skill, you may play this card from your hand. So we run 2 of these because we have other cards we Spirit Boost with. So this will be played for free when that occurs. And the first card that we play with Spirit Boost is, I opted for these. So it's a counter attack. If your leader card is red, negate the attack and then play this card in rest mode. If you negated the leader card's attack with this skill, your opponent can't attack with their leader card for the turn. So anything that, if their leader gets dual attack or can untap, it won't be able to attack again with this card. So it's kind of cool for that reason, but I play it because of this. Permanent, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by using a Spirit Boost 2 instead. So you can negate this. This is a free negate. You can just Spirit Boost, take 2 markers off your Unison, and you can play this card, and it'll negate the attack. So that's why I run those. It's just a Spirit Boost. Plus, it helps to get this Vegeta out if I need to. Another insane card for this deck here. Difference of status, if you don't know what it does. Counterattack, Spirit Boost X. If your leader is mono red, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5,000 power for the turn. If you removed a marker from this card, if you removed markers from this card from a red Unison using this skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5,000 power for each marker removed from the Unison. So if you remove like four markers, it'll get minus 20k. So you get tons of markers on this thing. You'll be able to like minus anything that's really, really big, no problem with this guy. So this is a really, really strong, powerful card for the deck. It's like a MVP definitely to get rid of anything you need. And then secret rare. We run the Supreme Kai of Time. If you don't know what it does, you can play it for 1 energy, active battle, and is it active battle? Yeah. 3 more energy opponent. All right, so active main, you play it. Oh, is it active main? Is it active battle? Yeah, so active battle, you play this card for 1 energy, and then your opponent cannot attack with leaders or unison cards for the turn. So this format, there's a lot of decks that are really utilizing unisons. So I wanted to punish him by using this. And then when it's your turn, active main, you could pay 1 energy, remove this from the battlefield, and you can board wipe them and their unison. So it gets rid of all their battle cards, sends it to their warp and their unison. So it's really, really strong. And it's definitely good to get rid of some pesky unisons. But that's the deck. I think it's super spicy using some of the old stuff and the triple flash here. And it's really consistent right now. So I'm going to keep working at it, but I'm going to take it to locals tomorrow, and I'm going to see exactly how crazy it gets. I've been playing online a few matches, and I've been destroying people with it. They're not expecting all the craziness. But this leader can facilitate a lot of different engines, but people just keep playing the one that came out with it. And this is proof that you can do other stuff with it, no problem. But I'm DBS TCG Central. Thanks for coming and watching another deck profile video. I have a Facebook, Instagram, and also I have an eBay. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put the links in the description below. Feel free to like and subscribe, comment. I love the feedback, and I need it for more videos. Somebody requested this one, and I had to get it out here as fast as possible. It's a shame I couldn't. I wish I had all the cards. I'm sorry I was missing a few, but I'll see you guys on the next video, and I'll make sure I got all the cards next time. Thanks, guys.